The first and probably best advice that I got when I first started running was to always run negative splits. All negative splits means is that you run the second half of your run a little bit faster than the first half of your run. I put an example of what it looks like to run negative splits on the side of the slide. It doesn't even have to be that precise to where you're doing mathematical calculations before the run. It basically means starting comfortably and not trying to go out too fast, and just gradually speeding up throughout the course of the run. This is the most efficient way to run. If you look at world record times from the mile on up to the 50K, you're going to see that those records were run by runners who were running negative splits. If you need a reminder of what it feels like not to run negative splits, think back to your middle school PE days when you had to run a timed mile, and the first lap would feel really easy. You'd be flying around the track. The second lap would start to feel a little bit tougher. And then the third lap was so much slower than the first two laps. And the fourth lap was probably pretty tough until maybe a sprint finish at the end. But the reason why those third and fourth laps felt so difficult was because you went out too hard in the first two laps. So the notion of negative splits applies to any distance, not just the middle school PE mile. If you start too fast, you start to build lactic acid in your leg muscles way too early in a run, and that makes the second half of the run feel quite miserable sometimes. So it's important to practice running negative splits even on easy runs in training as well as in your workouts.